Hello, good evening, and yet again, welcome to another open mic hour. Uh, Basically, another lockdown open mic hour. Right, we are getting through them, aren't we? We're getting through the months. Hi, Jess, and hello, everyone that's tuning in tonight. I've been asked about this topic and this subject over the last few weeks, and there's people asked about how you connect with guides and your guides and that type of stuff as well. So I thought to bring it to the table, and I suppose it's hard sometimes to explain when over like the last 12 years or whatever, and as from a youngster that I've linked and connected with the gut intuition in and around the spiritual team around me, and you feel safe of knowing that you're being guided in the right direction. So the most important thing that I've come across, that I've found out, is trust. Now, trust is an amazing word, but it's like physically, if I had the trust with my guide to feel like I was going to stand up, I'd feel like he'd catch me, even though he physically couldn't. I feel spiritually he could, if you get what I mean. So that's the type of trust I'm saying. And fire away with your questions as well. And I have got about possibly 8 or 10 bullet points pages written down to cover and bring into the hour as well. So, hiya Tash, and I know you. Good evening, David. Evening, Rachel. My lovely, lovely little darling. Some amazing investors as well coming along, haven't we? Oh my word! Can we not wait to get out there? You'd love to learn and connect. And remember when I said to you a few weeks back, Jess, that even having the trust when I was virtually grounding you when we was having a little conversation on the link and all that and on Messenger, and you felt that connection. That's what the connection's about with your guide and your team as well. So hello Coops, hope you're all right. Send some healing. Poor big old Steve. All right, okay, that's your cat, isn't it? He's not well. What's he been doing? Hello, Claire. Hi, Linda. Fire away with questions. Anyone wants to come along, you're more than welcome. Well, the admin crew there will send you over a link to come on the stream as well. Basically, as again I said at the starting and around the trust with your guide is, I feel as well from my belief only. I don't put my beliefs out there to everyone. I don't over push what I believe around a topic or a subject. It's only just my theory of what works for me as well. So I believe that the day we're born to the day we go off this plane, we're in and around spiritual energies of people from the past. Could be past soul life, it could be past person that you've been. I don't really think a lot of people have got to the answer of that, of was I this person in a past life? Has this person been connected to me when I've lived in that time or that era? That to me is an open book as well. So again, it's good to have open questions in and around. We don't know all the answers, and that's what I like about the spiritual side of things as well. Again, let's see with any questions. Hello, Peter. Hope you're all right. Yeah, you remember? Okay. Jess is saying about that. And okay, how do we connect to our spirit guides, Garry? David, right? And I have this when people ask me to go and do other courses away from spiritual topics and subjects. So I feel I've got to a certain level in my life where people say, why don't you go and learn this course or do that course? And it's like, this isn't spiritual side of it at the minute. And I think, well, I'm more on the spiritual path at the moment. So it's again working out where your path's up to, David. When you've got your path of where you're up to, I'm running with the spiritual side of things on my path at the moment. So my life skills of what I've learned on my life skills path, they're not on hold. I want to excel in that, don't get me wrong. But the journey with the spiritual side of it and working with your team is what's guiding me at the moment, if you get what I mean. So the way I would say with that is meditation is the link to the key to the realm to working with your team. The trust side of it will come in then. And what I will always say to people is when we go on an investigation is empty your mind thoughts of today that's gone on in your daily routine. So if you get up at 7 o'clock you get into an investigation at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock, when you meditate, it's quite the same as well. So what you're doing is you're just emptying your mind of all your daily thoughts. To work with your guide and your team and really connect with them is to clear all your thoughts of anything that's gone on within the time period that you've been awake for the day. And then basically balance and cleanse meditation for 10 minutes, quite simple. And then your chakras and everything else should be realigned and you're ready to work. You're like in a pristine condition of you've got no thoughts that's gone on from the day. You're grounded, basically ready to step forwards. There is millions of meditations on YouTube. You've got to work out which ones work for you, which meditation connects with you as well. Some people work on a higher frequency. A very good friend of mine, international medium, he works on a high vibration meditation before he goes and works on platform. Now, I've seen him so many times, I've seen him work so many times, and he says to me, if I do platform work, he says, how come you can just go out there and connect and link? I trust my guide and I trust my team. I know his guide and his team. I've spoken to his spiritual guide and I've brought him through in healing as well, in the healing session. The way to connect is having the trust to step forward. It's having the trust, and that is the massive thing. But when you're doing the meditation, you've just got to then ask your team to come forward and work with you. If you don't ask, you don't get. Now, when you ask, it could be 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, when the right time is where you need to work and connect with your guide. So if people are saying, I'm not connecting with my guide, I can't do this, I can't get past that, you've got to have a clear mind to step forward. Again, there's always the right time and the right place. So how would I relate to that? I always have the interaction of, I work with a lot of white light. I put a lot of golden bubble around me as well sometimes when I have to protect. So from me as a basic, I trust my guide. I understand that he will connect and link with me and protect me as and when I'm going through certain paths or going down a busy highway or a motorway or whatever. It's having the trust, the link and the connection. Yeah. More or so over the last few years, I usually pull into lane 1. I'm in no rush. I'm just taking my time. I'm just plodding on. I'm very, very happy. But there's a time and a place where I get the feeling that you need to speed up. You need to move on. That's the trust and the connection. Some people don't hear the voices from the guide. Some people get it from the gut intuition. So as an energy and a medium, it all works on vibration. So if you feel that you're drawn to moving over or moving faster or turning a chapter or going on to the next page or whatever you're being told to do within your own mind, you can be nudged and steered by your team over your shoulder. All right. So it's having the trust factor to don't self-doubt yourself. All right. So you don't put your thoughts into it. Ask a question. And then you get a yes or a no. Again, it's down to that equation of the simplistic things, yes and no. Do I need to do this? Listen out to your team, yes or no, but be open to receive. You've got to start from basic, your meditation, slowing down, sitting back, and then stepping forward. So again, I will go through certain bullet points as well. A lot of people, even though that they like the paranormal world, a lot of people aren't into spirituality, basically. So again, you've got to be open to receive as well. So again, that might be their field where they go, oh, I do sense and pick up on spirit, but I don't really want to know the spiritual side of meditation and stuff like that as well. A lot of things as well is down to gut intuition. I'm just going to go back up. And sometimes Good evening, Thomas. I've just seen your name there. Jess remembers that. And also on my team, it's over the years is your team can build. So I would say that this fella quite similar here is one of my main guides. Now, when I've been on an investigation and the session needs to stop, he will show himself to the public or the team members, and they'll say they can see this chap coming through, and his eyes are actually, he's got like down patches here, basically like a warrior, and he's there to protect. So he will step in, and when I know and sense him in and around, it's not very often he steps in when it's getting too heightened. So he will step in and he will actually go, no, end of, leave it there, close it there, we'll pick it up on a later date or a later time, or we'll move forwards. And again, I know when people start seeing him in my features, when he steps forwards, I know that that's time to go, right, okay, we need to move on. That's a very, very high intense investigation when it's getting really, really building and building and building. He'll step in and go, time to go and have a break, basically. Again, Claire has an idea of a team who is in the round, his family. Yeah, for sure, is the family as well, possible through development classes as well, which we've touched on. But as I'll go down through this little list, it's all about working with your family members as well, Claire, and the communication. Ask the thoughts in your mind. And if I repeat myself as I'm going through my notes, I don't mind. All right, okay. So what we've got around the spiritual team that's around you, I feel that this chap's been around for a long time. He does have connections with, he looks like a Tibetan warrior, but he's got links with Stirling Castle as well. He just looks like the traveller that's been around the globe. That's just in general. So, but again, it's having the trust with the communication. There'll also be love around your guide as well. Your guide will throw love towards you and a lot of power, but your guide will give you an energy that you feel more powerful when you start to receive and asking. It's about you asking out there to the spirit world to come forward and work with you. That's prior to your meditation. All right. Also, again, sexuality, he will drive you in a way towards, if you're in a relationship and it's not quite working, they will let you know. Something will happen along the path. If you're drawn to that specific person and say you ask your pendulum a question, I'll get a no, I'll get a yes. They will drive and push the path towards the person that you're meant to be with as well. All right. And again, we'll touch on that a little bit later. Symbols that I use to connect with is through Buddhism. So again, around the Buddhas, all right, I do have a lot of trust and a lot of faith around the Buddhas as well. So again, it's all around the energy that's around you, that's in the universe. So again, it's like the human pendulum, but you're asking the questions, you will get signs as well. And we'll touch on that in a little bit later. I'll try and cover on some questions and where you're all tuning in from. Good evening, Dennis, Thomas. Hope you're all right. If anyone wants to come on and give me talk to me about your experiences with the trust and the team that you feel that you've got around you, because it's your night. I'm only just drawing this to the table as a topic and a subject to run through as well. All right. You're all right, Tash. And again, Tash has just put on there, Hiya Gemma. Basically, I met a new guide at the end of last week. It was after a really good meditation session. That's fantastic. But what you'll find with that as well is, Tash, that I think I said to you about top of my head, 3 or 4 weeks, 3 or 4 months. I can't remember that there will be a new guide to come in for you. It's all about timing and the understanding. So again, when that happens, it happens. But it doesn't mean that your other original guide has stepped away. Your original guide from birth, from day one to the day you end on this plane, will be in the background as well. You can add on to your team. That will be an add-on to your team. So your original guide will still be there in and around what's going on in your life's path as well. So I'm just going to scroll down. Oh, excellent. That's fantastic, David. Barry John said trying new meditations and new forms. I'll touch on a few other things as well. Hello, Lee. Nicola, what's she saying here? If anyone wants to come on, just ask us for the link. You was on here earlier for the first time. That's fine. Yeah, just look out. That's another session, that Nicola. So we'll do readings. I think it's on a Thursday night, 7 p.m. This is just touching with your spirit guides and all that. This is what this hour's about. But you're more than welcome to ask questions. And again, it's starting from a blank canvas. So you've got to you walk in and just have a blank canvas, working spiritually. So if you think, right, the weekend, I'm going to give myself an hour's window, 12 o'clock, midday, I'm just going to relax, unwind, sit in the high chair, have a meditation, ask your team to come forward and work with you. You'll be surprised. All right. And I'll tell you the few people as we're going along who I've got in my team. I've not just got one as well. And trust yourself more. That's what it's about, is trust yourself more, to be open to receive, to work with the spirits and ask the spirits a certain question as well. Are you okay? Right. Your beliefs as well. I don't preach what I do. Certain people have got different beliefs and religions. Work with it, run with it. You'll have your own team there that will connect with you still as well. So again, that works with anything like that as well. So your own beliefs, run with your own beliefs. Also as well, in and around your spiritual team, there's quantum physics. This has shown us over the years as well of there is different types of energies out there as well. So the whole universe and the whole sphere of everything, it all ties in, but you're the center point. Everything that's going on for yourself, you are the center point for you. You are the most important person for you. So when you want to work spiritually, it's how you're working and how you want to go. When you say you might be around the person with bad vibes and you get bad vibes about them, trust that intuition. Your team's telling you that. And I always say it's like two magnets. North and north don't go, south and south don't go. So when you're bringing a positive energy around and there's somebody stepping in that you're getting bad vibes about, you don't connect. But when it does connect, that's what it's like when your team starts talking to you. I think Rachel put on before, she inboxed me saying that she's got a family member, that an old guy, Arthur, that's been around her since about 6 years old, and she hopes that's his guy, that's her guide. But it doesn't matter if it's not, Rach. If it is, fantastic. You work with that. It's not for me to say yes or no. That could be a family member that you've never met as well. So again, it works like that along the universe. The past things are passed on as well to you from different, with your soul as well, of what you've learned over your past lives with your soul. So when you're into this plane and you're in and around your spiritual team, what your soul's learned in the last decade or century or whenever you've lived in the past life, you'll have the different connections with that moving forwards as well. And we touched on this earlier. Again, the family members, your grandparents, your great grandparents as well. A lot of people come in, but what people don't do and what people need to do to move forwards of working with your spiritual team is relax, feel the experience. They're always around you. And again, we've all got your 5 senses. You're heightening your senses. You heighten your vibrations with everything. You hear, you touch, you see, you sight, you smell. And then you've got your spiritual side of you. So it's like you've got to open all that out as well, push your aura out as well for your team to be close and connect. Some people feel really overpowered when their guides step in too close. So when the guide steps in too close to your aura, your guide could be sitting 20, 30 foot away, but watching. And then when he needs to come in really close to protect you or talk to you or communicate with you, come in really close as well. So again, it's all about vibrations. What I'm saying there about trusting and understanding of you doing the work and you're putting it out there to work and connect with spirit, you can't hear higher pitch noise from our ears, and certain them noises are very high pitch, but they do exist. They are there, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? So just because you can't see something, it does exist. There's different light spectrums that we can't see. I work with white light, I work with lowered energy as well. So I work within the full spectrum of dark to light white light in and around spiritual side of it. When energies are coming forward, I understand and I try and work with what they're bringing to the table. So if they're bringing a positive or a negative energy, I work with, when spirits are coming towards me, I know what level they are of their positivity or the negativity. All right, but I work with the lower dark light to the white light, so I work within all the realm of the spiritual light. And then obviously there's other spectrums that we can't see, like the infrared, your x-rays as well, but they're there. If this is what it's like of connecting with your team, what I'm saying is we all know about things that's not there, but you've got to trust to work and connect, and that's what I'm trying to explain. Just because you can't see your guide will come forward and show himself, but you need to expand on your trust, your intuition, and there's no limits. There is no limits once you get that connection as well. Many vibrations out there. Expand your mind. I'm not preaching. I'm just trying to push you forwards to drive and push you in the right direction, folks, as well. If you don't really know where you're up to or where you are at this moment in time, again, it's one step back, 4 steps forward. So you've got to relax. Remember, it's your life as well, folks. Who you are, you will reconnect as well, and seeing things as well. You will start to value things more as well once you start getting in the zone of meditating and working spiritually, and you'll understanding it just comes tenfold. And when you get that link and connection, it's just amazing. Just going to go down on a few other things as well. Right, okay. Yeah, definitely going to try and work more on it. They are around you, Jess, the spirits, your team, and everything as well. And closing down as well. And I always say to people, when you want a good night's rest, is just visualize your mind's eye, just closing the flower and the petal. Right, I wish to have a good night's sleep tonight, team. And your team will let you have a good night's sleep. All right. When you want to work spiritually, just visualize opening your mind's eye like a flower would do in the daytime in the sunshine. So that's as simple as working with your mind's eye as well. Good evening, Angelique. Okay, well, if you go back to the start, the beginning of this on the video as well, and then pick it up from there, everyone can do it. It all depends on the time in the right place. But again, clear your mind, focus, and that as well. So again, open mic hour, come in along and have a say, come in along and join me. Anyone want to come on? You haven't met your guides yet. They will be there. Joe L. Brooks, they are there, they are around you as well. I'm seeing quite a small lady around you as well, Joe. It's not as much as a reading. I do feel that she's quite a cloaked lady as well. She's like quite wrapped up as well. So I think she's quite leaning forwards as well at the moment. But she looks like a Little Red Riding Hood, you know, with this cloak on. But the older lady I'm seeing in and around, she's just being protected at the moment. So don't try and force it. Don't try and over force it. All right, okay. Let's see what else he's saying. New to this amazing awakening, you felt a presence and you're up at chest a couple of times. And sometimes as well, if you just stand up in the room and ask your guide to push you forwards for yes and backwards for no, that's your pendulum. Again, your team will work with you and give you little nudge signs, and you're not going forward 4 foot or backwards 5 foot. It's just a little pivot. It's just a little, all right, can feel that. I can feel it in your aura. And your guide and your team will virtually put the hand on your shoulder, ask your guide, put a presence, if it's asked the question for a yes, put your hand on my right shoulder, guide, if it's a yes, put your hand on my shoulder, on my left shoulder, if it's a no. You can ask simple ways, make it go hot and cold on your hands for a yes or no, but ask again, ask the question twice just for confirmation till you get used to it. Guide, can you make me left hand go cold? If it's a no, can you make my right hand go cold? If you don't ask, you don't get. Try work, but start from the clear mind and the meditation, balance, cleanse, move forwards. Hiya, Shauna. I hope you're all right. But that's great. And when you start connecting, it's like, I always say it's like I think it was the Bruce Willis film where the Sixth Sense, where the little boy says, I see dead people, but he doesn't show him that till the end, that he's actually dead, the fella talking to him. It's like it's there all along, but you don't realize it's under you, right, directly under you and in and around you as well. So definitely clear your mind, forget everything in the day, wash everything down the plug hole. I always find the best way to meditate, balance and cleanse is shower, visualize anything that's gone on in the day, get rid of it, throw it away that you don't want. That changes your aura, that gets rid of all the weight out your aura as well. And we do learn from when we are born. You can stop the process as well at any point. You can say, right, okay, I'm having a couple of days out, team. I just don't want to work spiritually. It's up to you to ask. Doesn't mean your guide's going anywhere or he's not around. Ask your guides to come forward and help you with you more spiritually. It doesn't mean it'll happen overnight. It could be, again, a week, a month, a year, 5 years. You've just got to tap into the realm. The link to the key to working spiritually a lot is tapping into the realm. Once you tap in and connect into the universe of the realm, in and around the spirits, it's like a sphere of where man's on the edge of space and spirits are all in and around that universe. Do you know what I mean? It's just about tapping into that zone around us. And when you do that, it's just amazing. But it is all about that as well. And there's always a good time to do it and start learning. Right, where are we going? And sometimes as well, your team will not tell you too much about your future. Again, they will nudge you in the right direction. Quantum physics advice. So even with a lot of Reiki as well, a lot of people don't know that we work with quantum healing. Again, so there's a lot of things that people don't understand. Again, you've got to have good people around you in your team as well. Memory as well. It can work with your memory, your team as well. Sometimes, to me these days, I'm lost without a list. That's because I'm rushing. All right. I don't need a list if I don't rush. All right. So again, it's that clear process. Have the trust. Ages. I'm going to say last year, the year before, I was walking in a specific shop. I got told, buy loads of that. You need loads of that. And it was hand sanitizer. And I'm looking, going, what do I need that for? Yeah, to wash your hands. That's fine. Within 6 months, we had where we're up to now this time last year. So I was getting nudged in the right direction. Wasn't as much as saying no, but I was like, I'm always washing my hands, I'm clean. What do I want hand sanitizer for? When certain things come around and about, I went, I wasn't listening. I should have bought a few, because we couldn't get hold of that when certain situations broke out and about. But you couldn't get it for love nor money, could you? The sanitizer then. So again, that's me going, I don't need that, but I'm being told to buy it. So again, the spiritual connection, you've got to trust it sometimes. So I learned from that mistake. Do you know what I mean? How we getting on? See where we're going. Good evening, Pauline. And David is saying, just had a very conversation with Jess about vibes and the people who are near never lets me down before you said it. That's excellent as well. You can test yourselves while you're out there as well, folks. Put a little test out there with your team. Ask your team something now. Try it. See what happens. My team seem to connect with me using smells. Yeah. Oh, and sometimes as well, when I always say when there's a very negative energy comes into a room of, say we're in a stately home and we're in a basement or something and there's a lot of not nice things gone down there or something, you do get a lot of smells of sulfur and you'll get a lot of musty smells as well. So sometimes it can be the environment, but sometimes you've got to say, is this spirit or is this the environment as well? So you've got to work out as well sometimes with the sensuous side of it as well. Rachel, how are you doing, my darling? You don't know who your guides are. Can you see them? Garry Fields, TV medium. Again, Rach, what it is, it's about, they will show yourselves to you when you're ready. Now, I've got this written down further on in my notes. Okay, 15 years ago, I was told to look at myself in the mirror by my team. And I was like, what's all that about? And I didn't understand what they were saying. Within 5 years, and I'm starting to work more spiritually, I started scrying. So I'm going, you told me that 5 years ago. I should have been doing that 5 years ago. So when I'm getting there talking to me in my head and my corridor in a different part of my brain, don't self-doubt when you're getting thoughts in your mind. Don't overanalyze it with your answers. Put your answers, forget your answers, and then listen. All right, I do know there's somebody trying to jump in spiritually through me now because I've seen my face change a few times. Good evening, George. How are you, young man? Your investigations look fantastic the last few weeks. Oh my God, did I want to get on that ship, the HMS, whatever it was? Oh, wow. Also as well, there's different souls as well. So you bring your soul, there's different souls out there that will work with you spiritually. So you've got to understand that different spirits basically can play games on you as well. So a lot of people work with the guide, but it can be a different energy or a different spirit that stepped in that's not actually your guide. So you've got to work out who are your guides and is it a spirit energy? That's mainly on a lot of investigations as well. So sometimes spirits can come forward that you think is your guide. It might be a spirit trying to interpretate that it is your guide. So again, you've got to have that trust side of it. And David saying hello, George. Arthur, this is what I was talking about with Rachel before. Always shrouded by green mist. Any ideas of what that could be? In and around the green mist, again, if you think of auras as well, Rach, he might be in a certain level of, he might have needed healing towards the end before he's passed, if he's lived on this plane. Not all spirit guides have lived on this plane. They can be in a different realm with certain energies and entities that's not lived before. It can be a pocket of energy there as well. But in and around, if you think of auras and your chakras as well, he might feel more comfortable of coming forwards when he's in and around that atmosphere of, I feel great in and around the green energy, which is like a lot of healing is purple. So when you're at a certain phase of mind, when you might need that certain type of color throwing back to you, he will come forward more, basically. But if you're seeing that in certain times and place, ask him to show you another color. Say, can you show me, if you're my guide, can you show me another color as well? Can you show me black and white? I see black and white with spirit, but my guide will go, it's green, it's red, it's blue, it's yellow. Sometimes it's a shade of in between, like gray or something. It's quite hard to decipher when you see black and white. But again, it's that link and connection. So if you think of the plasma ball, when I'm connecting with spirit and I'm meditating and relaxing, it's the plasma ball that's making the link and the connection. But your guide's stepping in here through your mind or whatever way that you work spiritually as well. You've got to work out which way you work spiritually. I receive from the back, I receive from the side as well. I see it in my mind's eye. I see cine film. So I'm getting quite a lot of information. So I'm getting front, side, and back spiritually, and also information and the communication side of it as well. But again, things from your past life can also relate to your guide and your team again. So again, you've got to be comfortable with it. It could be another soul as well, in and around of, it could be a soul that you've sensed in a past life. You might have been connected to that person in a past life. I feel like you see it where people are married today. Oh, we've been together in a past life, because the connection's that strong. It's just amazing. But again, it's all about with the higher dimensions. When you connect with the higher dimensions, it's up to you to push yourselves. All right, folks. Okay. There is loads of books out there and YouTube videos as well. There's also a thing as well with quantum healing, hypnosis as well, which is like the trance state. People go into that as well, and have a little look at that for yourselves, folks, as well. There's deep levels of your mind. So again, when I'm saying about pushing yourselves, it's all about you to, it's like relax and unwind when you're a coiled spring and you feel uptight with everything. It's about understanding how to relax and unwind. And when you unwind, you're ready to go forwards. All right. So when you relax and unwind and your feet are up, you're ready to connect, you're ready to meditate, you're ready to work and move forwards as well. But again, a trance-like state of mind is when you're nodding off and going to sleep, but you're open to receive. So when you're open to receive from spirit, it's that relaxed state of mind as well. All right, okay. Again, you could also connect with any relations from the past life that you've had. You can relate with relations that you've had in this life as well. Let's see on other comments there. Linda find it hard to relax. That's why you've got to think of anxiety as well. Balance, cleanse, 10-minute meditation, Linda, and then do an anxiety meditation, and then do working with your guide meditation, connecting with your guide. All right. So again, it's also practicing about, if you think I'm happy today, I'm sad today, I'm angry today, you're in that state of mind. So you've got to have a balance about you to go, I've got no anxieties today, I'm going to put that on the shelf, I'm going to work with my guide and my team. But you've got to work out to go, take the deep breath and put things to a side. You've got to do that again. Ways to communicate with us. You can create a block, and that's what I've just covered. Your guide and your team will work with you on your path, as you know. They will push you in a certain direction that you need to go in. You don't have to be meditating for that to happen. That will happen automatically. And sometimes, again, as Rachel said, you hear voices in your head. I hear the voices. I hear my guide, my team. I get it many a time where, so what do I do? I always say, ask in my mind, what am I going to do next? What do we need to work with next when we're on an investigation? I'll say, run with that. Ask somebody to get that piece of equipment out. We'll do a board, or we'll do this, we'll do that. My guide and my team are always telling me what to go through next and what's coming along as well. So again, you've got to have an open mind. Connect with who you are, your heart, and also connect to the signs. People need to look out for signs in and around working with your team. Excellent, Claire. Be sure to join us as well. Any questions? Keep finding the questions. I've got loads of notes to go through as well. Yes, that's great. Hope you're all right, Shelley. And again, if you want to join me, I'll send you the link. Hello, Jolene. How are you? Jolene works well with her team as well. She has a family member that I know of, but I would safely say that Jolene would work, and also she'll have other members of a spiritual team guiding her and pushing her in the right direction, as well as family members as well. So again, that is an amazing. But again, it's all about open to receive as well as you're working. Where are we now? Again, go back to your gut intuitions as well, and other people in and around you can push it in different directions. Ask your team spiritually in your mind, do I need to be going in this direction? Am I on the right road? Am I on the right path? And then over a day or two, you'll see which way it's being drawn out. And you've got to make like a block and a note of it, of when you've asked the question. In 2 or 3 days' time, you might get the answer in 2 or 3 days' time as well. But having the trust and the faith to ask the question, put a full stop to it in your mind and put it in the corridor to one side. And then 2 or 3 days later, you go, that makes sense. That ties in with the question I asked 2 or 3 days ago. You won't get the instant replies sometimes. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But have the heart to have the trust and the faith. And Jolene's good. That's excellent. And I know she's been really busy. David's saying about his gut intuition. And this is another one that I've got written down. Shelley, have you been reading my notes? He's talking about dreams. Again, but work with the voices in your mind as well. Your guide and your team will also give you things around passion, rewards, symbols in your life. Little scenario that the other week, my mum was 75 in spirit. I won £75. Sunday was Mother's Day. Checked my lottery ticket, £140. I'm like, whoa. But every time it's in and around a specific date, not that I felt low, it's just like, I am around you, son. There's a nice little reward. Again, so that's giving you that little buffer as well. So your team's giving you that little upliftment as well. And again, a lot of it is alignment, where if you feel out of kilt with anything that's weighted, that's been gone on through the day, or if you've got soaked through, or you missed the bus, or you missed the train, look at it as a positive, because it's like giving you that little bit more time to yourself as well. So you've got to understand why your team do certain things as well. They do it for a reason. Yeah. Definitely comes about understanding and understanding yourself. When you sleep, your subconsciousness takes you into your dreams. You will be shown signs. Write your dreams down. Put your book next to your bed and your pad and write your dreams down. You'll be surprised how many of these link in with it. And the amount of people say within the dreams, I can't remember. You will remember this when you wake up and you start to wake up early in the morning. That's when you need to reach out for the pad. But 9 times out of 10, everybody just turns over and goes, I'll have another 5 minutes. That's where you're losing it then on the remembering side as well. So again, time, space, your dreams, look for the signs. Now, this is the one that I love around the dreams. When you go to bed at night, ask your team to show you a dream of something a month ahead. Set the intuitions. So set your insights of what you're looking for. Use the universe. Tap into it. Put it out there. The spiritual team, friends and family will inspire what's to come in and around if it's meant to be. All right. And again, definitely do that at bedtime, because that's when you're relaxing and unwinding as well. But remember your dreams, your signs, what you need to do in your life. The signs of higher dimensions, you need to push beyond that with the thoughts and physically think through your friends, your family members, and your spiritual team. You need to say, if there's any archangels out there, or if there's any higher realm spiritual energies out there, I would like this. Not I want, I would like. So again, it's being open to receive. You're not just saying, I want, I want, I want. It's with the mindset of I would like. So it's up to them to provide or not provide spiritually of things that's going to tie in for you as well. So it's the way that we say things. And how many people there that's on here tonight, when they've mentioned the medium, has somebody gone, oh, can I have the 6 numbers? And you're just like, boom, it don't work that way. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. All right. But again, that's people pushing and forcing the issue. It doesn't work like that. Again, I would safely say sign into the higher realm, trust yourself to go through and go to the highest spiritual energies that's around us as well. Work with your experiences, what you've experienced in the past, work with that. Right, that happened to me 4 months ago. I'm going to see if I can get a conclusion to that. Ask the team. There's thousands out there of things that you've not concluded, but you forget about it as well. So it's like a notepad. Your mind's the notepad of trying to put chapters in and finishing and closing a chapter off as well. If you've not seen Joe Blogs for 4 months, it's again asking about, oh, I forgot that person said they're going here or there. Ask them if they're going to communicate with you over the next week or two, and then you'll be surprised. The phone will go, you'll bump into that person. It's just amazing how it works as well. A lot of the time as well, your guide will not step into your aura too much. Your guide will not be overpowering. He will nudge you in the right direction, raise your vibrations. People like different types of meditation, which we've talked about. I did say someone's trying to pop in, Rach. You asked them being shown orange, just work with it as well. When I've done aura pictures and aura photography with a good friend of mine, read up on auras, what orange means as well. A lot of yellow is open to receive and a lot of positive energies, but on the same hand, it's letting a lot of your energies out and your knowledge. So yellow is knowledge, but sometimes work with that if you're seeing it. Now, Rachel, as I said, there's somebody trying to pop in and pop out as well. Quantum healing sounds good. There's excellence. There's a lot of that to be learned. Right, go on. Add on to more of that for us, Rach. You asked literally, and I got the answer I've been waiting for. What? Tell us more, Rach. Add on to that as well. Basically, oh, she has done. Right. Basically, you wanted to know for a reason why something has happened and a gut feeling, but I got told you a bit more. Right. Okay. Hello, Alison. How are you, my dear? A lot of it is with the gut. Is it the guides or your team? It can be a bit of both. That sometimes what it is as well, Tash, when you see spirits and flashes or images as well, I don't think a lot of the time we ask the question of who's showing me that. It can be your team, it can be your family, it can be it can just be your inspirers as well. Sometimes where people have had I've turned the wrong way or I've broken down and then there's certain things happened, you will get slowed down if you need to be slowed down as well by your team. But with seeing certain images and all that, I think what's happening is before you're going on an investigation, your team's saying to you, you will experience this type of scenario prior to seeing it. It's not about the warnings. It's about you will go and experience through that chapter. You will pick up on this male. You will pick up on that female. You will sense a little boy or a little girl. You will sense some type of what they're showing you. They are giving you experiences to see how you react, and they will show you more the more you can deal with it. So when you deal with a certain situation spiritually that you're being shown, they will give you the next chapter. They will give you the next thing that you can deal with and cope with. So the more that spirits show you, they believe that you can cope with it better. So it's not about, I don't want to see this, I don't want to see that. When you receive it and you're open to receive and you go, right, I'll run with it, they will give you more information, but they'll put you in scenarios where you might not expect things, but they expect you to deal with things in a better scenario of not over panicking, not feeling over, what's the word that was after, claustrophobic with spirits. It's about controlling one spirit coming through at a time, just nice and relaxed as well. God, we've gone through 50 minutes already. Your gut is definitely your most powerful tool. And you know why that is, Rach? Is because that's the center of you. So you throw your energies all the way out and all the way up. So as you throw your energies out from your gut, that's the ball of energy that you're bringing around you. That's the battery pack of you. You are the energy source from the center. It all comes from the gut intuition. It went to black, but it's changed. It's responded. It's worked. You've asked for the change. It's responded, and that's good. Right, where are we going there now? I'm all good, all keeping well. Your dad. Now that's an interesting one. And sometimes I always say when we've all watched the film Ghost, and where Whoopi Goldberg is like, she can hear the song and that the spirit is singing, the gentleman singing, so he responds. Basically, you can get a lot of spirits when they've got certain messages for you to deal with. You might not want to talk to that person spiritually, but just acknowledge them and say, if you've had a fallout prior or something's gone on, sometimes you've got to not hold the grudge around something, and sometimes you're okay, right, I will work with you Sunday afternoon, come forward and work with me when you're ready. It's all about timing and respect. Again, it's all about the respect, and you working again with your gut intuition, raise your vibrations, you're expanding your consciousness as well. You can try this prior if you're feeling in an okay mood. When you've meditated and when you've tried to link and connect with your guide, or you've asked a question, you'll automatically feel more uplifted if you get that response, or you feel more general around yourself. You will feel better. You'll feel like a 7 or an 8. You'll feel like, right, okay, I've got a little bit of response. It's not all about happening there and now, again, but just ask the questions. Things your guides will not do around you as well. Your guide will not feed your ego. Your guide will be very fair, very supportive, very loving. It will have non-emotional energies to itself, so it won't be sad, it won't be happy. It's just down the middle as well. But also it'll encourage you. Your guide and your team will encourage you as well. It'd be very tough and very firm. I'm happy with that. My guide's very tough. He's very firm and very peaceful as well. Down the middle, very down the middle with everything I'm doing lately. But that's how my guide is as well. And you know the vibes that's around you. And you'll definitely not feel over emotional from your guide stepping in and around and working with you. Again, it's like the pendulum effect as well. Your guide will not tell you too much around the future. I always ask my team to close things off within a week or two. I don't need to see what's happening 6 years ahead. I've had all that, but now I've worked to close it down with things happening a week or two as well, in and around what's going on spiritually. It won't tell you too much about your future because you're not supposed to know. All right. Yeah, definitely protect you when you need your support. Your guide will just give you general information as well. Again, if you ask the questions, see what the response is, see what you sense, see what you feel. He will, again, not say what's going on in the next year or two. Again, usually if it's happening, yes or no, that's what you want. The simplistic things. Just give me a yes or no, team. Just give me a yes or no, mum, granddad, great granddad. In and around you, work and connect. And I'll touch on other people in our teams as well. And your questions and your answers will not be too much off your guide and your team. So we won't give you the sentence, he won't give you the paragraph. He'll just give you little things, short, sharp, and for you to connect with. So it's just like, yeah, watch out for 4 o'clock. Make sure you do this. Don't forget to do that. That type of scenario as well. So it's little things, short and little and often, as I always say. They will never answer when people say, do you know when you're going to die? I've got a very good intuition when that's going to come in and around. I've got a certain figure in my head and my mind, but that might relate to another scenario of an effect of something happening around that figure, around that year. All right. So again, they should not really answer that as well. Always go with the flow with things. Your human experiences as well. You've got to work things out, and this is what people shy away from. And a very good friend of mine is right. When I have to learn things courses wise away from the spiritual side of it in the normal world, I don't push myself enough in that direction. But when it's spiritual, I'm pushing myself again in that spiritual direction to get the human experiences of working things out. So I'm working the spiritual side of it as well. Don't go chasing what you need to do. All right. Your guide and your team will never insult you, never talk down to you. And it'll be what's the word I'm after? It'll have a certain seriousness about him. So there's a certain professionalism about your guide. Yeah, they'll have a laugh, they'll have a joke. They'll give you them upbeat energies. But when it's time to go, woof, focus, that's what they'll do. They can change and be very sharp with their interactions with you and bring you down a peg or two when it's like, whoa, focus, this is going to go on, that's going to go on. So if you're laughing and joking 1 minute, they can say, you need to get refocused and watch out for this as well. So again, there's certain issues, they will stop certain things in your track. People might say, oh, my guide doesn't talk to me anymore. I'm not picking up on this and not picking up on that. A lot of the times people have got too much going on in their lives. Your guide will step back for a reason to give you that time to focus of where you're up to. All right. Again, lower energies come in and they can mess with you, which we touched on. If you are out in an investigation, a lower energy, if you do connect with your guide, again, I've covered on this before, they can pretend that they're your guide, but you get to know if it's your guide or not. Again, it's working out them energies, that's playing games. And I always say spirits will play games with you. Your team won't. All right. Never get angry in and around a certain situation. Your team will not want you angry around anything. It's not very often I blow my top because it's just like, woof, it's not worth it. And I'll get it. Just come down a peg or two. Again, that's hearing and the trust and the connection and the communication I'm having. I'm like, right, okay, no problem. Again, don't forget, it's okay to change your mind when you're working. If you want the window of, I'm not doing anything spiritually for the next 2 months, there's no problem there. They will let you change your mind, your team. Again, I had certain periods where 5 years I went on a music blast. I was going to see everyone musical, of bands that I hadn't caught up with, and I was touring with like other bands out there. I was touring in like 09 and stuff like that. Then I picked up on my football. I've had the football in and out. Then for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, it's been investigations. That your guide and your teams will let you experience things on your path because that's what they're there for. Your guide will definitely love you. And sometimes it can really get silly. So when you're being silly, you know in your gut intuition, if we've all broken fingers, we've all fell over, we've all fell on the ice and stuff like that, they're the things that your team will need you to experience. Yeah. Your guide and your team will, you know when something's going to go wrong, even though you're going, it's too icy today, but you still go out anyway. Wait for 2 days. If you're going to go shopping, you're not going to fall on the ice, but you still push yourself. But your guy and your team will go, we'll let you go for it. And when they let you go for it, you've got to learn with your experiences as well. Again, that's part of the life skills all tying in, but trusting the team and the spirits to put you in the right place at the right time. Don't judge them. Your team won't judge you. All right, they will not judge you, and they'll definitely not force things on. They will not force themselves onto you, so they will not over empower you either. But they can definitely read your mind. They can read your thoughts as well. Definitely loving ways, and they love talking to you as well. Just don't judge them; they won't judge you. Just feel the connection. All right, and your guide can visit you in your dreams at night. Anyone that's watching now, and I know there's a few viewers on here, or anyone that watches later on, ask your guide to show yourself in your dream, or sometimes your guide will show yourself out the corner of your eye. A lot of things people think it's spirits and this, that, and the other. It can just be a guy, and you're just catching up on that. I wouldn't recommend scrying on your own. If you're with a family member, that's fine, but just ask your guide to show yourself in the mirror for a millisecond, and sometimes that'll happen, but I don't want you in a trance state of mind where you can't get yourself out of anything as well. So again, a lot of people have red Indians, a lot of people have Buddhas, a lot of people have Buddhas. Well, there's just so many things out there as well. To me, this chap's Tibetan looks like a warrior, and over the years, I know I've got links and connections with my Reiki master, has got connections with Stirling Castle. He stepped in and around with me to work with me because he's stepped back from my Reiki master's not doing as much work now. But again, your team just add on. Also, I'll touch who else I've gained in my team. I do have a young South African chap, a very young 21-year-old lad, very bouncy energy. He brings the upliftment energy not when things are down or weighted. He gives you that burst of the youthfulness life around me. So he gives me that uplift when I'm needing an uplift. Very springy, bouncy energy, this young lad. He's about 21. I do feel he changes names quite often as well, especially my main guide. He changes his own name towards me, and then I might not use it in my mind because I don't say, "Hey Billy, hey Bob" to this chap. I just link and connect, so I don't use a first name term, but I just know he's there. The guide will not be needy either. Excuse me. And I'm going to touch on the rest of the stuff I've got. I'm going to touch back on that in my team. So originally I've got this like Tibetan warrior gentleman in my team, and I've got a young 21-year-old South African lad. Then I've got a lot of spiritual animals around me, like a silverback gorilla. I've got a wolf. I've got a spiritual eagle. And I just seem to be getting more and more and more. Okay, so I don't know when there's a new guide coming in. I haven't felt that. But when certain energies come in, you know that that's part of your team, like my little leprechaun type of thing. Positive energy bounces around, takes a lot of good fortune to other people. And Thomas, that was on here earlier, he'll spend 6 months over at Thomas's, and I might not see him for ages. Then all of a sudden, I just see this little ball of energy, and I know who it is. Do you know what I mean? So your team come in and around you when you need. You can collectively add more, but as you're working more spiritually, you will gain more and more spirits coming in and around your team as well. You don't just have one guide. Some people work with one guide, but you can add on to your team as well, depending on how much you're working spiritually as well. Gatekeepers come into your dream, Rachel. That is an excellent point. I haven't actually got that down. When there's a time and a place to block things off, your gatekeeper will come in as well. I always pick up on gatekeepers when I'm walking on an investigation on the lie of the land. So I will greet a positive or a negative gatekeeper in a way of, if there's a positive and a negative energy in and around a hall or a stately home, the lie of the land can be positive and negative. I will introduce myself to the gatekeeper of the land and introduce myself to the people that's in and around me as well. And already they will say, Joe Bloggs is waiting for you. Just by to the left of the building or to the right of the building. When I went to Penny Lan, I'm actually in the doorway. I can hear people laughing around the corner, and that was the young children. But I knew the gatekeeper was very close in and around. So my first port of call was I had to introduce myself to the gatekeeper in and around the land. Just say, I'm Garry. I'm just here to communicate with spirit energies in and around. So prior to going there, you put your energies out there, work and connect, and it's having the trust to work and connect spiritually as well. So when you're working spiritually, it's having the trust that they're receiving it. So I can get 10 miles before an investigation or 5 miles before a location and say, our team's coming tonight. Please look after us, make us all safe. We're not here to wish you any harm. And again, you're just putting that balance out. Again, it's working with the balance and the understanding as well. And again, there's millions of meditations out there. Your direct experiences, write them down and see how you go on. Keep a pad for 12 months and anything that you think that's related to your guide. And it all adds up. It does all add up. And then what they want you to do with other meditation work out there on YouTube, it's your homework time to work with your guide, I always say. So certain people meditating different hertz and different sound vibrations, that's fine. Some people like guided meditations. There's absolutely loads out there as well. Ask your archangels to come in. Ask to be shown someone of Mother Teresa. Just ask. You'll be surprised. Ask somebody to come forward that you see as an inspiration. They can be part of your team. If you could say, help me through this period over the next 2 or 3 months. Ask, use the universe, use the realm. All right. Right, I've come quite close to the end of that. I'm going to go through. What have you added to your van or thinking of adding? Shelley, I need 3/4 rock and roll bed and I need leather seats doing. I need an upholsterer to finish that off, but she's on the bond. She's linking in now. So do you know what, Shell? I was actually talking to somebody about that today and they said get Mondeo seats, and I mentioned that before the start of this video to Karen that's on the admin there as well. So I was talking about that I was told to get some leather seats from a Ford Mondeo will work quite well in the transit van. So spot on again, Shell. Okay, Rach. We stand tall. Yeah, use all your resources and all your tools. That can be your spiritual tool. It's like sometimes when you don't want an energy close to your H, it's just put your palm out, protect yourself. Do that in your mind. We covered this a long time ago, Tash. You've seen so many of these energies before you go in an investigation and you was wondering why. So we've covered on that. Your intuition is always better. Again, a lot of these things are tools in your locker, folks. It's up to you to add on to them. Yeah. So again, one thing I can't do, and I've mentioned it so many times, I can't do the artist drawing of spirit. But I'm not meant to. When I'm supposed to, they'll give me that tool in the locker. So again, we all learn in different times and phases as well. I might bump into somebody that's going, I'm coming on every investigation with you, Garry. I do the artist drawing. It can be like that. And then the number of people that I've tied in with over the years that do that has shared their evidence, which is fantastic. So some things you're supposed to have in your tool locker and some things you're supposed to not have in your locker. There's always a time and a place. David West. Yeah, definitely. And I think that's what everyone's really, I think everybody's at the grind of everything now, aren't they? I think it's a lot of things have run its course. And I've spoken to a few people and they've said, hopefully everything can have their second vaccination hopefully by September and get out there, that'd be fantastic. Rachel, add it in your personal experiences, the communicated, the car radio. The many times I've been driving to the match and my mate's been driving to the match and he's like, every time you get in, the radio starts going louder. Every time you sit in, the radio starts going lower. And then all of a sudden, we'll forget about it. Then it'll come on full blast. And you're like, whoa, what's going on? So you can bring your energy pack to the table. So you might not know it, but you might be buzzing even just to go and do something that's quite simplistic. And your team is very excited for you because they know that you're going to enjoy something. Again, so they get excited as well. So you're bringing that double energy pack as well, or how many spirit energies that you've got in your team as well. But I would definitely say to work and connect with your guide is the homework for you. What way it works for you best is balance, cleanse, I would safely say. Then step forward with a spiritual guide meditation. See where you go. It doesn't happen overnight. All right. Don't rush it. Don't force it. All right. Joelle Brooks, thank you for the answer to the question and seeing my guide or a family member. You're welcome. That's what it's all about. Anything that you'd like to see for next week's topic and subject, let me know. We are coming up to Easter period as well, so I'm not too sure what's going on there as well at the moment. So the more things you put to the table is the more questions I can ask as well and try and get covered for you. You can relate to your encourage and you guide me, yeah, and you're feeling pulled to what something. Yeah, it is like just being careful as well. I mean, I can go around like a churchyard and stuff like that, and before you're saying it, my guide will just say Keith Johns or Jess Russell, and then you walk past the grave, and it's just like, wow, how bizarre is that? It's just amazing. Be good to see everybody again. You fell on thin ice, yeah. But 9 times out of 10, you've got that gut intuition of, you know when something's going to happen. Now, I always safely said, years ago, I played in goal for a long time. I always safely said, if I ever broke my leg playing football, I'd never play again. My career, I never bust my leg. So I'm like, wow, yeah, touch wood, touch lucky. But that's the type of scenario. So I laid down certain boundaries and they looked after me. So little things like that as well. Lots of ice and snow. Let's see what Thomas has put. Yeah, normally to the rescue. But you feel safe, don't you, Thomas? That you've got to have the trust to feel safe to be in trance. Like to Shelley, when I've been in and around Shelley, I've said to her, there's an angel come into the room, you can sense the energy, you might not be able to see it, but if you want to see the other angels in the line, or 15 or 16 angels all at once, just look down the line and they're all arm in arm, and it virtually went like 20-30 foot out into the garden, basically. So your guide and your team will show you them inspirations and them certain things as well. Right, okay, so Claire's actually seen the silver-backed gorilla. The one he came into force was when I was in Newsham Park, and I had 3 or 4 people in trance medically as patients within the hospital, and then there was a negative energy that was actually heading towards Thomas. So my guide and my team said, you can't deal with all these people all at once spiritually. Broke the session with the ladies that was under medication spiritually from the patients that was in the hospital. My guide and my team had shot off and sent the silverback gorilla to protect Thomas. And then when I went in the room, I knew the weighted energy negative was around Thomas, and then I broke the session, and then we'd all protected Thomas that night as well. So your team will do different things as and when they need to as well. So that's what your team comes in and around as well when you're working spiritually as a medium. Your gatekeeper is a small wizard. Excellence. And it's great that people work with, understand who is in and around them as well. Yes, definitely. But again, there is a lot of silver around this chap here, like the buckle, the middle of the buckle. Hold on, can't see. Where are we going? Wrong way. The middle of that buckle would be silver, and the hat would be silver. We've had to do it a grey colour as well. Excellent. So I hope that's what they want. But again, that's fantastic, Thomas. Again, a lot of the times it doesn't work with the sporting betting side of it. But if you feel lucky, you feel lucky. If you don't feel lucky, don't have a bet. I think I won £140 last weekend. My guy and my team just said, "Don't have a bet this week. Forget it." Do you know what I mean? It's just like you're not meant to win all the time, are you? As well, but good luck when it does happen as well. Excellent, Shelley. Right, anybody want to cover any topical subject over the next few weeks? Type in here before we finish the live. I think I've virtually covered everything. Yeah, sure. Never forgot that. That's Shelley talking about the angels and the line of angels that I said that was in and around us. I'm actually sitting in a portal now. This is a very positive portal behind me. And again, this puts a lot of protection around the property as well. Need to sleep, in so much pain. Well, ask your guide to come in, Tash, and release some of the pain. Again, all right. Self-heal, all right. Definitely your guide, your angels come in and around as well. And a lot of people don't understand, and a lot of people don't see in life earth angels, where people say, "Oh, that person's lived before," when they see the babies and stuff like that, and the souls that eyes. There's a lot of earth angels out there that a lot of people don't pick up on. So certain scenarios, say heavens forbid, a little old lady had fell over, and there's a crowd around her, and then all of a sudden you feel somebody's picking her up, but there's no one there, and she's recovering quite quick. Again, when somebody's tripped over and they're picking that little person up off the floor and they turn around to thank them and then they've gone. I've seen that so many times before, especially like a train station. Somebody's fell over getting off the train. Somebody's fell over, lifted them up, turned around, they've dusted themselves down, they've gone to turn to thank them, and there's nobody there. They've walked away and they're gone. Where's that person gone? But the speed that that person's moved away, they're your earth angels as well. A lot of people don't see a lot of earth angels as well. Let's see what Thomas is saying. Thanks, Thomas. You have fun, you have a good night. Right, and again, past life regressions, angels, please. You see, in and around the topic and the subjects, angels, I get a lot of angels stepping in and around the Reiki and the treatment side of it. So whenever that's being sent, that's when I see a lot of the angels, and the presence of them coming in, that higher realm of the energy and the battery pack that they bring in and around the room. I can be doing a treatment and connecting with an angel, and I'm bowing and I'm like, yes, master, yes, master. That's how I feel. I feel very privileged to be receiving that type of strong energy in and around as well. I know there's somebody trying to change my figures and configuration at the moment as well. Past life regression. And again, Okay. Best place people to talk to equipment if topic and a subject. Cheers, Thomas. We'll see what we can do with that. Right. It's an hour and 20 minutes. I talk for England, as you know. I'll send you loads of love and white light out there. Please stay safe. Please stay strong. And again, I would safely say in a positive way, folks, if anyone's not linking and connecting with your guide and your team, it's up to you to link with your guide and your team. It's up to them to show themselves as and when they're ready. It doesn't mean that they're not there. Trust, faith, path. And again, a lot of it's down to so much trust. All right. I will do, Thomas. Thanks, Jess. Again, it's all part of sharing. It's all part of what I've experienced. The team will give me more and more and more as and when it's supposed to come out, but I need your nudges in the little direction of what topic and subjects. It seems like past life regression is one to cover. You can see your face changing, can you, Linda? It just seems to be doing that at the moment. Just does seem to be flickering in and out. See it? Like a millisecond. So hopefully that's my guide. Nice one, David. I'm going to send again loads of love and white light, and congratulations on the news of being a granddad. You're welcome. I tell you what, it's like falling in love. It's just an amazing connection. It's just unbelievable. It's straight away. It's just unbelievable, the connection and the link as well. I'm going to sign off. Stay safe. Stay strong. There's loads of books out there. Again, there's loads of YouTube meditations out there. Please try them. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't mean it's the right one. Don't just stop there. Keep pushing, keep going. You will connect as and when you're meant to connect as well. Definitely a little gift, that. Definitely, Rach. About 10 minutes ago. A large gap. Yeah, I seen that actually on this side here. The gap on my tooth. I seen that. Seen that. Right. Stay strong, stay safe. Namaste.